Thank you and welcome. Happy to say we have 6 candidates running tonight. So we'll have our BOE Candidates Forum. Dr. Watson will moderate for us tonight, so I will turn it over to Dr. Watson.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Watson, and I'm the Deputy Superintendent for the amazing Troy City School District. It's my pleasure to welcome you this evening to the 2024 Meet the Candidates Night. Before we get started, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank each of the candidates for their willingness to run for election to the Troy City School District's Board of Education. Serving the students and families in this capacity is one of the greatest ways to volunteer in your local community. We recognize and appreciate all of your efforts. Tonight's format will include the following. Each candidate will have an opportunity to introduce themselves and give an opening statement of no more than 2 minutes. This will be followed by 2 questions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. We will conclude by giving each candidate a chance to share a closing statement of, again, no more than 2 minutes. There will be 4 opportunities for each candidate to speak this evening. We will proceed through the panel, beginning alphabetically by last name from A to Z, then rotating 1 seat to the right for each subsequent question. Or if you're a potential board candidate, 1 seat to the left. To ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to speak, Ms. Caniff will be using a timer set to 2 minutes for each response. If you hear the timer beeping, please know that it is your gentle reminder that you have reached your time limit. And it starts with a gentle, friendly beep, and it gets louder and more aggressive as it goes. Candidates have been seated in alphabetical order from left to right, and it is my great pleasure to introduce them now. They are Mr. Joshua Chapone, Mr. Matthew Flowers Jr., Mr. Kenneth Mayfield, Ms. Davina Mayo-Dunham, Mr. Donnie Miller, and Ms. Elizabeth Polito. Good luck to each of you as we begin. We will start with Mr. Chapone for opening statements. Please begin.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate everybody having us here tonight. Just to introduce myself, Josh Chapone. I live in Troy, New York. I grew up in Troy, New York. I think 5th generation. Now my kids who are sitting over there, 6th generation in the house that my great-grandfather came to when he came over from Italy in South Troy. So I'm a staunch defender of the city of Troy and the Troy City School District. Played a key role in my successes as a human being, my professional success and my personal success. There's relationships here that I've utilized in my life, that are friendships, professional relationships that have really put me in a position to be sitting here today. And everything that the Troy community stands for and the Troy City School District has done for me is what I'm looking to give back to this community. Because if you're not from Troy or you haven't grown up in Troy, it's hard to understand what goes on in Troy. But when you're in this community, to be a part of this community is really something special. And for myself, I'm looking to give back to set kind of the new path for the flying horses that are upcoming throughout this great community. So I have kids that'll be coming through this school district, and I'm looking to be a part of that. Ann Rounds has done it for 18 years, I think, Ann, and you were here, I think, when I was here. So, it's time to pass the torch. It's good to see But she's been here a long time, right? It's good to see young people up here. But I'm looking forward to adding to this great community and giving back to what it's done for me. So, I graduated from RPI. Played football at Troy High, played football at RPI, so I know what extracurricular activities mean for a human being as they grow up and what it means to be a part of a team and part of an organization. And the pride that you can gain from a community that's as great as Troy is something that we need to instill in our future generations, and that's what I'm looking to try and do. So, glad to be a part of this, and thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Mr. Flowers.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm really happy to see more than people that work in the district. Glad to have everyone here. Again, my name is Matthew Flowers Jr. I'm also a lifelong Troy resident. Graduated from Troy High, graduated from RPI. Had a chance to leave a few times, but something kept me in Troy. And at some point, I realized it was being a part of this Troy community. When I first was elected to the board, they told me it would take 3 years to figure out whether or not this was for you. And, you know, now ending my 6th year, I'm happy to have had the opportunity to serve this community, and I look forward to doing it again if given the opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Mayfield?
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Kenneth Mayfield. I'm originally not from Troy. I grew up in the city of New York, Brooklyn, per se. I moved up here in 2011. I went to Hudson Valley College. I went to SUNY Empire State. I went to Russell Sage. I went to St. Rose before they were about to close. So I devoted myself to education. I love children. I love serving. While I grew up in the city of New York, I volunteered at the YMCA. I was Volunteer of the Year award. I was Teen of the Year. I built up my career to a point where I'm able to give back and serve the community which I lived in, where I live in right now. I've been living up here since 2011. I'm a school counselor. I advocate for kids on a daily basis for the last 9 years. Like I mentioned, I'm in a point where I'm able to provide and serve the community where I live in, so that's why I'm running for school board. I believe in Troy. I work in a district that's very similar to Troy, and I would love to have the opportunity to, for the next 3 years, to add more to Troy City School District.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mayo Dunham?
Hi, my name is Davina Mayo Dunham. I'm also a Troy graduate. I'm not much younger. I don't want to say that, but I'm on the younger side. Sorry about that. On the younger side, so I believe it's important that young people kind of see themselves in different positions and recognize that they too could also have a voice in things like at their own education. I also graduated from Siena College and St. Rose as well. RIP to St. Rose. They gave me a great education, but I just want to say thank you for the Troy District for not only providing me the education that I needed to going through high school, but also in other capacities like working there as well. So, and I really enjoy giving back to youth in my free time. I work with Albany County Probation, working with young juveniles, and I also am a Black and Latino achiever, which working with mentoring different youth, so I like working with youth in different capacities, so I just think this is another area in which they can be involved, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Miller?
Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Donnie Miller, and I am running for re-election to the Troy School Board. I am a product of the Troy schools. I was born and raised in Troy. I went to school 18 for elementary school. I attended middle school right here in this building, back when it was called W.K. Doyle Middle School. I also graduated from Troy High in 2008. In my professional career, I served the public as the Director of Administrative Services and Workforce Development for the New York State Division of Homeland Security. I sit on the statewide Workforce Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council for the state. So diversity, equity, inclusion is something that I've always been really proud to work in. My wife Shannon and I, we're going to be celebrating 10 years of marriage. Say hi. This summer, actually. I have 2 beautiful girls that are also here. Mackenzie, who is 8, she goes to school 18, she's in 2nd grade, and then Harper, she's the wild one. She's going to be in kindergarten in the fall at school 18, but right now she's at school 12 in the pre-K program. Given my background, I know how scary the world can be. I know what a difficult place it can be, and 3 years ago when I ran for school board, my mission was to ensure that not just my kids, but every single child in the district has all the tools and resources that they need to be successful in this life. And if elected, I will continue that mission. That is something that I feel strongly about, and that is something that I want to be able to continue to do. So thank you again for being here. I'm looking forward to tonight, and I look forward to answering whatever questions you have. Thanks.
Thank you. And finally, Ms. Polito.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Polito. I am not a product of Troy, but I have been on the school board since 2012, so I've been here for a little while. In that time, I have gotten married and had 2 children. I have a 4- and a 2-year-old now. And I'm incredibly proud of what we've been able to accomplish since 2012, and I'm hoping to continue that for the next 3 years.
Thank you very much. So we will now move to our first question, and Mr. Flowers will begin with you. From your perspective, what are two of the greatest strengths of the Troy City School District?
Two of the greatest strengths of the district are the sense of family that you find in almost every building. If you visit any of our buildings, the staff treat each other with respect. They look out for each other along with looking out for all of the children in their care. You don't find that everywhere. I've worked with children for about 20 years, and I've had the ability to travel through different school districts, and you just don't see the sense of family that you find in the Troy School District. The second strength would be a strong, new, but a strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The establishment of the building liaisons and the equity goals that I've seen grow throughout the last few years in the district is really something to hang our hat on. I personally sit on a statewide DEI committee, and Troy is one of the districts that gets talked about for their positive role in that area.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayfield, from your perspective, what are the two greatest strengths of the Troy City School District?
I would say one is I had the opportunity to actually work for Troy City School District, actually in this motorcycle on long-term ISS. So my time here, the things that stood out to me was the culture and the climate. That really stood out. And being that I was on the path to build up my career, I always said that when I reach a plateau, like I would love to come back and serve my students in some type of way. This is the way that I think is most appropriate right now. The second thing is the students. While I was here, the students are very different, you know, then and now. And I see it on a daily basis. And I think we as adults and serving the students, this is our job to serve the students and have the right resources and the support to make each kid have the opportunity to have each kid flourish in their own way. So those are the two things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Mayo-Dunham, from your perspective, what are the two greatest strengths of the Troy City School District?
I would say that the two strengths are one, opportunity. Being a student who graduated from Troy, there was a lot of opportunities for you to not only expand like professionally, but also academically. So I think that is one, but also as an employee, as somebody who worked here as a social worker, I think the administration really care about making sure that the students have all of their support that they need, while still trying to be under the pressure of seeing how much the needs of the students are changing very quickly and making sure that it's on top of it. So it takes a lot of time. So I would definitely say opportunity, but also support, and that goes along with my first one, but supporting the staff and administration in the decisions that they make when it comes to the students, also supporting the students and pushing them to not only make the right decisions, but encouraging them to do things that might push them a little and challenge them a little and expand their academic thinking.
Thank you very much. Mr. Miller, from your perspective, what are two of the greatest strengths of the Troy City School District?
So I would definitely think one of the greatest strengths would be the college and the high school program. It gives high school students the opportunity to take college level courses while in high school. I was fortunate enough to be able to take some college level courses when I attended Troy High, but now that has expanded immensely since then. And that just gives our students a huge advantage. You can graduate high school with almost a full college semester under your belt. So I think that is a very strong advantage. And there's no other high school in the area that can compare to Troy High in terms of how many courses are offered at the college level. So I think that's fantastic. Another great strength that I would say we have would probably be our grants, and the way that our grants folks have the ability to go out and try to find things that are going to benefit not just our students, but our faculty and our staff. One of the grants I know was a Stronger Connections grant that we recently received. That right there basically sets up like a mentorship program where you can pair K through 8 students with some faculty members, and It helps provide support, both social, emotional, behavioral, academic, and we really in this district go above and beyond to set our students up for success, whether it's in the high school giving college credits or it's in the K through 8 level trying to mentor them and give them the tools to succeed. So in my opinion, those are two really great strengths we have.
Thank you. And finally, Ms. Polito, from your perspective, what are two of the greatest strengths of the Tri-City School District?
So I think one of our greatest strengths is our faculty and staff. I think you hear time and time again that Troy is a special place, and I think that every adult in each of our buildings cares deeply about our students and wants what's best for them and will go out of their way to make sure that that happens. And another strength is our program. So like Donnie said, definitely the college credits that we're able to provide for students, but also the athletic opportunities that we have, the extracurricular activities that we have available for students, I think just go beyond a lot of the other school districts in the area.
Thank you. I just want to interject and commend the candidates for not, no one has needed the timer, so that's been really great. Great job staying within the time limit. So let's, as we switch gears to question two. Yes.
Josh.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I got to the end of the round. I'm so sorry.
I must have talked too much. I'm
No,
so sorry.
Mr. Chacon, my apologies.
That's all good.
I got mixed up. Mr. Chacon,
Hey,
from
you're
your
getting up already,
perspective,
yeah.
no, not at all. From your perspective, what are the two greatest strengths of the Tri-City School District?
I think this is very easy for me to answer because my wife, who's sitting over there with Leo and Madeline, we talk about it as we were looking for, you know, the right decision to make, whether we sent our kids to private school or into the school district. So JJ's in kindergarten now at school 16, and the two biggest things that we looked at were the resources that are available to the children and to the administration, and the diversity that Troy brings to the table. And I'm not talking diversity, there's many different things that diversity means. One of the biggest things that I look at, that I went through going through this program at Troy High, was even just the economical diversity, right? We had, I had friends that, you know, were sometimes living by themselves. I had friends that were driving the brand new car to school. So to bring that diversity into the fold, for kids to be exposed to that in today's world, these are real world experiences that our kids are getting in the hallways at Troy High, at the middle schools, at the elementary schools, that quite frankly, I don't believe private school kids get. You know, it's a real world exposure to every single thing that goes on that you're going to face out in your life. So as we get our children ready to get out and be college ready, professional ready, that's a huge part of the soft skills that help me develop as a human when I'm interacting with people, to understand backgrounds, different maybe trains of thought, different viewpoints. As you go through life, that stuff is key and fundamental to the success of human beings. So the diversity is huge. From a resource standpoint, you know, there's a lot of resources here in the Troy City School District that other schools just don't have. You know, one of the schools we were looking at didn't even have a STEM program, didn't have a library. I mean, there's things that are basic needs that, quite frankly, the folks within the city of Troy need to be able to progress and to be able to become college ready and professional ready. So when you come to the board meetings and you hear about companies like Regeneron providing opportunities, involvement from the local 7 or the local unions to come here and talk about trades, you know, the ability for the administration to utilize the state funding and do the right things to hire the psychology needs that kids are going through, the social emotional needs that are going through. Schools that don't have those opportunities and don't have those resources aren't as well off as we are in the city school district. So when I look at what's best for my children and what's best for the kids within the city of Troy, it basically boils down to resources and diversity. Oh, sorry. That's me.
I'm sure we almost made it. I apologize, I didn't mean to skip you. Teresa gave me a highlighter for this very reason. She said
Highlight as they answer, so I'll do that in the next one.
Thank you for sharing all of those great attributes of our district. We agree completely, and we feel so fortunate and blessed to be able to work in an environment characterized by a lot of the things that you just shared. So thank you for sharing those. Now we're switching gears. Question 2, and we will start with Mr. Mayfield. If elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
I think one area I would focus on would be social and emotional. Mainly because if a child comes to school and his home life is not a normal home life. That child will not learn that day. So we as a district have to provide resources and serve that student first to cater to that social and emotional student in order for that student to get to a level where he's able to absorb the content that he or she is coming to school to do, the instruction time. But if the home life or his life or his or her life is not social and emotionally stable, that child will not learn. And data will show that tremendously. So my focus, number one focus would be social emotional, and what are we doing now and what can we do more of for Troy?
Thank you very much. Ms. Mayo Dunham, if elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
Can't say social emotional, but that is an area that I would want to support and also look at as well. But I think something that I also think would be cool to focus on is just like the connectedness between what students are going on now and how that kind of transcends into school. So there's a lot of things happening on the internet and things that are impacting our students, like worldly, that kind of compounds itself in a school environment, which makes it challenging to kind of learn in some ways. So seeing how to like bridge the gap between those two things would be super important.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, if elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
So one thing that I would like to improve, which we already do a great job at, would be enhancing the exposure and the experience that we give our students. So, you have these great programs we develop with our communities where students get to go and do site visits or visit the labs every general, like Josh said, and get to really gain some real life exposure that'll help them be successful after school. But I would like to look into what we're doing and see what untapped potential there is, what we could be doing, like some other things that we could enhance. So one of the things that I do in my professional career is I set up internships and fellowships with college students, and we're now entering into doing that with high school students and pairing them throughout the state. I would love to be able to set something like that up with Troy and connect them with the contacts and the network that I've developed throughout state education and all the different state agencies. That would give great exposure. Another thing that I would like to do, speaking of giving exposure, would be try to maybe develop or look into how you could bring some intramural sports to kids in that K-5 program. That's not something that we really offer a lot. Yes, there's South Troy Pop Warner, Brunswick Bulldogs, T-ball, but there's no actual sports that the students in our elementary levels get that exposure to within the district. So I would like to look at that and see if there's a way to bring some intramural sports so kids at that elementary level can get some experience and have some fun after school, building strong connections with teammates and kind of get that sense of sport. So those are a couple things that I would like to look at.
Thank you very much. Ms. Polito, if elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
So one area that I think we're working on now, but I think is going to get a little bit more difficult as we go into the next 3 years, is helping our students get through those post-COVID difficulties academically and socially. I think we're about to head into a couple of years of difficult budget decisions as the state aid changes, and we're not really sure what that looks like. Keeping those class teacher to student ratios low, making sure that we keep our emotional and social supports for them. I think that's what we need to focus on for the next few years.
Thank you. Mr. Chapone, if elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
I'm going to be a driver, so there's really 3 things I'm going to try and drive. I'm going to drive accountability, both between the school board and through the administration, so we both need to hold each other accountable to make sure that we're keeping our kids in the best state of mind and in the forefront of our minds, because at the end of the day, the kids are what's most important here. It's not about the school board, it's not about the administration, it's about the kids. So we need to make sure that we maintain that focus. I'm going to drive to drive accountability. I'm going to drive awareness. So at some of the meetings we were at, there's barely sometimes any people that are even at these meetings. So there's a lot of good things that's going on within the Troy City School District. We need to get that out there in a better manner so people understand how great the school district is, how great the community is. I don't think we do a good job of that right now. I think when people are in it, you understand it, but folks outside of it have a hard time understanding how great this place truly is. And then I'm going to drive resources. So again, with the focus of our children in mind, you know, we have a goal of a 90% graduation rate, right? We need to drive resources to be able to get to that point. We're not there yet. I think we're at 86% of the graduation rate. We still have a ways to go. But on the other side of that, we want to drive resources to the soft skills that are out there that we need to develop with our students. So that's through extracurricular programs, sports, arts, career paths, all the stuff that drives that soft skills, drives that team building, drives the ability for our students to get some real world exposure and really build teammates and relationships that they could take on in their future is what I'm going to try and do. So I'm all about driving.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Flowers. If elected to the Board of Education, what is one area within the district you would work hard to improve?
So one area I'd like to improve is images for students. We do a great job right now exposing our kids to a lot of different opportunities, but I don't think every kid gets an opportunity to see, you know, what that's really like for themselves. I'd like all the kids to be able to see themselves in all the wonderful opportunities that the district offers them. And I think we could do that with mentorship programs, bringing in outside people in the community to talk about real world things, bringing in your high school kids, you know, and we're doing some of this now, but, you know, encouraging the high school kids to go back to maybe their elementary school. Talk to kids about, hey, you know, these are some of the things that I struggled with when I was in your chair. These are some of the things that you'll look forward to, you know, when you get to where I am. I think if we can build that mirror that all the kids can see themselves doing something they want to do in, it'll help our students strive.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing the ways that you would help to make our district even better. For the last few moments of the evening, I would like to invite each candidate to make a closing statement. So again, this will be no longer than 2 minutes. For this, we will start with Ms. Mayo Dunham. So please begin.
Oh, I thought there was one more question. My closing statement. So I just want to thank you all for helping me get up here today. I think that this has been a very interesting experience, and I'm very fortunate to be here. Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing what the candidates up here had to say about the different ways that they would impact the school district. So even if I don't end up being on the board, I know that everybody will be in good hands. So I really like that. So yeah, and I didn't really touch upon it, but I think that the mentoring opportunities that everybody really spoke about is super important. As you know, I do work in a college and I work with a lot of freshmen to seniors, and there is a huge gap going on in terms of the interpersonal skills and being able to communicate. So the more of that we can bring in, that's super amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
So once again, thank you everybody for being here this evening. My biggest message is going to be to encourage everyone to get out on the 21st and go and vote. That's the most important thing. The school board election does not get the publicity and the notoriety that the mayoral race would get, or the county legislature, or the city council. But although those are extremely important elections, to me, what could be more important than securing a future for your children and ensuring that the education for your kids are in the right hands? So, in my professional opinion, and my personal opinion, I believe that the school board election is more important than those other ones. So again, please get out and make sure you tell your friends and family to go out on the 21st and vote. If reelected, like I said in the beginning of my opening statements, my mission will be to ensure not just my kids, but every kid gets all the resources that they need to be successful, and that will still be my mission. Over the last 3 years, I learned quite a bit. I've been around to listen to folks. People would come to me with certain issues. I worked to get crossing guard came to me and asked if we could get some stripes for crosswalks at School 18. I worked with the city to make sure that that happened. There are things that I would like to continue to do. Like I said, I've been working very hard for the last 3 years, but I'm not done yet. So I would appreciate the support to get reelected. And again, please get on the 21st and vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Polito?
I just want to thank everyone for their time, and to echo Donnie, just to get out on the 21st and vote for the budget and the capital project. Both of those are very important to keep our students where they're going. And if I I'm reelected, I would love to continue the work that we've been doing. It's been a long time. I think we're headed into another maybe difficult season with the foundation aid changing. So I would like an opportunity to be on the board to help navigate through those, similar to what we did in 2012. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Chabon?
Sure. Yeah, just similar to what everybody else is saying. I think first and foremost, I think Davina brought it up, but if this board and these candidates are qualified more so than anybody, and if I'm not elected, it's great to sit up here tonight and just get to meet everyone and know that our child's future is in the hands of great people, and the same with the administration. Came to a couple board meetings, super impressed about what's going on. I would just ask that everybody continue to be a champion for this community, be a champion for Troy City School District, spread the word about how great this place is, go to a sporting event, go to a play that gets offered, support the kids, right? At the end of the day, these kids want to see positive role models in their lives. We can be them those positive role models that make a difference. If you aren't involved, want to get involved, come to the meetings, right? Even if I'm not elected, I'll still show up to the meetings and see what's going on. You know, it's our duty and our responsibility. You know, our kids are our future. If we don't put the resources into our kids, it can get very tough very quickly. So let's continue to make the kids the forefront of our futures, and I think we'll be in good hands as we grow old and gray. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Flowers?
Again, I'll echo what everyone else has said. It's so wonderful to see, an audience, a real audience at our meeting. When you leave tonight, tell everyone what a great time you had. Bring somebody back to the next meeting. If I'm reelected, I would like to continue the work that I've done in the last 6 years with this amazing group of people that I've had the opportunity to work with. I've also had the opportunity to work with people from different districts around the state. So I'd like to bring, some of that wisdom that I picked up from other places, to maybe someone else is doing something that we could be doing. I'd like to bring some new ideas to Troy. I think Elizabeth mentioned things are going to change. We're going to have to make some different decisions budget-wise in the next few years, and I'd like to be a part of, making sure the train that we have going stays on track.
Thank you very much. And for the last word, Mr. Mayfield.
Pressure's on. I want to start off, thank you for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to be here with everybody on the board. Sitting at the table right now, the board, staff, everybody here, and the community. I've been in education for 9 years. It's in my blood to serve the students. I love students. I love children. Coming back from COVID was a huge change. Dealing with children that have been home for 2 years, and as a school counselor, it's like, how do I navigate that, right? And this year, my cohort is graduating, and they made tremendous strides, thanks to me working with stakeholders throughout the 3 years I've been with my cohort. I've seen dramatic change. I'm continuing to do the change on a daily basis as my job, and outside my job on a personal level, as me being school board, I would love to do the same exact thing that I've been doing for the last 9 years. I've had multiple results, but there are challenges, but there's always a hurdle, there's always hiccups, but as long as you're in it and willing to strive through it, I'm willing to do it. So May 21st, I hope you do go out and vote. My name is Kenneth Mayfield, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your responses. I think it was great for everybody to get a chance to hear what's important to you. And we are very lucky to have 6 interested candidates for 4 seats. So we feel lucky as a district. Thank you for your responses. This concludes our event this evening. I would like to thank everyone for participating, and would also like to thank the public for both submitting questions ahead of time and for attending the Meet the Candidates night this evening. So thank you all very much.